hit up.
Sisters,
We shall not yield to tyranny.
our cause just we will prevail. The fight
Hello,
for our
history
rights.
buffs. Ready for a journey back? Look at this encampment. The spirit of 76 is alive.
Bobby, at this
Hello,
point,
history.
shame on you. Shame on you. Because we are being played as the American people. Our money is funding a war that we don't need to be in. I shouldn't be okay with it. So as long as I have breath in my body and a mic to use, I will be speaking out against this.
A true patriot savors these moments, but the fight for liberty calls.
The economy, we have a global economy. That's why we're a number one economy in the world. I know that a lot of people want to paint the horrible view of America, but, you know, go live somewhere else and then tell me America's bad.
Patriotism is all about. Look at these flags. They represent our fight for liberty. This is what
so
American
freaking crazy to me that we have an conflict with Iran before a single person from the Epstein files has been arrested on American soil.
The hour our liberty is at hand. For freedom is brava. Brothers
Hey, I
and
was
sisters.
working, man, you know, but it's good to see Rippy out there handling business, man. And again, hey, that's a lot of black Trump supporters, man. I mean, it feels good to see them, man. So I'm...
My fellow patriots, the hour of decision is upon us. Let us march forth with courage to secure our liberty.
A real code. People are getting sick of it. The moment a celebrity steps slightly outside the leftist approved narrative, they get attacked. Chili from TLC gets heat over allegedly donating to Donald Trump.
For liberty. The British advance. We must act.
Our supplies are low, but morale is high.
Then we fight for liberty.
Pain's work captures the spirit of we fight for independence.
With
Welcome to
people
my...
that said they were anti-war. I think they said no new wars. Yeah, they voted for a president that was not going to start any new wars. And what's funny to me is that not only were you lied to, not only did this man start this and get out of the
freedom. Greetings from the encampment. The spirit of liberty is strong. We will fight for our rights and our freedom.
Just in order to get the Greater Israel Project accomplished, you have to kill people. That's why it's wrong. Killing people is wrong, full stop. So you can try to make sense of it with, well, it's a threat and this and that. There's no greater threat than the United States empire.
To the encampment. For liberty.
And what I've learned, and I'm not a liberal or a Democrat. I voted for Trump the first time, but he's become a politician. He lies like all the other politicians. He deceives like all the other politicians.
Endures through every change and challenge. We stand at the dawn of liberty, unshaken by the trials ahead. Our cause in
I'm gonna go out on the limb and say anybody that sits in that oval does not like Americans. They love the United States, though, which is the politics, but they don't love the Americans. Americans are farmers. Americans are mechanics. Americans are school teachers. Americans are mom and pop businesses.
And flaming! Soldiers, the enemy is near.
Not only do I love my FBA fam, my Black American fam, my Black people on code, you know, my people that's allies with us as part of the fam. I love y'all. I love my country too. You feel me?
The cause to victory.
To victory. These pastries are wonderful.
Indeed, but we must stay vigilant.
Just posted this on True Social, depicting himself as our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. This isn't just edgy marketing, it's straight up blasphemy. For years we were told this man is a defender of the faith, but but look at his fruits. The very first thing I noticed about this administration was that he didn't even put his hand on the Bible at his inauguration. That was a warning, a foreshadowing of his second term defined by ego rather than scripture. Where is the righteousness that we were promised? We are seeing a war in Iran that does not benefit a single American family. We see the mass deportation used as a campaign tool while actual work remains undone. The truth is the American Christian has been used as a footstool for a man who now openly compares himself to God. It is time to be honest with yourself. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot worship the King of Kings while applauding a man who tries to steal his likeness for a political post. If you are still defending this, you have to ask yourself, are you serving Jesus Christ or are you serving Donald Trump?
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depiction. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better.
He, of course, has said, as you just heard, he thought this was him being, depicted as a doctor. Not everyone sees that as a doctor. What do you make of this, both this image and the backlash to it in this moment?
Yeah, I don't know too many doctors that have glowing hands. So that's the most Jesus-looking picture I think I could imagine. And I think it was pretty shocking to me that someone would put themselves in the place of Jesus. And as your reporter was just saying, it came after he had just been tweeting out a pretty hateful attack on Pope Leo. So obviously religion was on his mind last night. And that probably came from watching the 60 Minutes special with the three cardinals. So I guess he was thinking about religion, and that's what came out.
Go ahead. You had talked a couple weeks ago, you were doing an interview, and you talked about how you hope to end the war in Ukraine because it might help you get into heaven. How does this help? Does this help?
I mean, I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven, okay? I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven, but
Okay. You mentioned the Bible. You've been talking about how it's your favorite book, and you said, I think last night in Iowa, some people are surprised that you say that. I'm wondering what one or two of your most favored Bible verses are and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. When I talk about the Bible, it's very personal, so I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into.
There's no verse that means a lot to you that you think about or cite?
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
Even to cite a verse that you like?
No, I don't want to do that.
You're an Old Testament guy or a New Testament guy?
Probably equal. I think it's just an incredible, the whole Bible is an incredible, I joke very much so. They always hold up the Art of the Deal. I say my second favorite book of all time. But I just think the Bible is just something very special.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Described him as one of the most dangerous men on the face of the earth.
Welcome to the Man Cave. Welcome to the Man Cave. I'm Gray Mars.
It's Mia.
Hi, it's Skeptic.
85 Slim.
So we'll get right into it. Trump posted himself as Jesus. Mia, is this blasphemy? How do you feel about it?
I mean, it's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. It's like probably one of the top 5 most ridiculous things he's done. Like, really? But I'm not surprised. Evangelicals, Christian nationalists are weird like that. They do weird things. They like preach around with snakes and shit and like throw themselves on the floor. That's white people shit. I'm sorry. That's white people. White people do weird stuff like that. And I'm not surprised he thinks that he should depict himself as Jesus, as somebody who works with doctors. They don't look like that. Okay? That is the weirdest depiction depiction of a medical professional provider I have ever seen in my life. And I've worked in multiple units. Super weird to me. Super weird. But like I said, white people, evangelicals, or neo-Christians are weird. I'm not shocked that he thought this was okay. He's surrounded by people who would tell him that this is okay.
For sure. So MAGA Slim, before you get into it, I'm going to play what a Trump supporter had to say about this.
Just because you voted for Trump doesn't mean you have to support this. Let me be clear, I still don't regret my vote. I still think that we're in a better position than we would be under a Kamala presidency, but that nonetheless doesn't mean that I have to defend this, and I won't defend this. Because this makes not only all of us who voted for Trump, it makes all of us look bad, and it makes it harder for us to just live our daily lives when this is the sort of imaging that people are associating with us. It not only makes us look bad, but it makes our country look bad. And yes, that does matter to an extent. Like, I think good policy matters most. And again, that's why I don't regret my vote. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to sit by and act like I think that this is a good idea or productive. It certainly isn't going to help us win any elections anytime soon. And without winning elections, say goodbye to implementing any of the good policy you had in mind. Like, I do.
MAGA Slim, what's your response?
Well, it depends, man. If you all in your feelings about it, you're going to feel some type of way. But at the end of the day, I don't run by emotions, right? So I would be contradicting myself if I had something bad to say about it, for the simple fact I posted something in a group called Utah Uncensored, literally similar to that post. And the reason I posted it because it's mostly Democrat, and I did it just to piss them off. So what I see Trump doing, same thing. He's doing a lot of shit to basically take your mind off of what's really going on. And he's a genius. He gets people to talk about whatever. And you got to be a fool to think that this man has some type of comparison to the one upstairs, or if he believes that. When I've heard this man preach about God, talk about God through the whole entire term of his presidency, nobody mentioned none of that shit. But soon as he come out with this, all hell breaks loose. So I'm looking at it like it's entertainment right now. At the end of the day, it works every time. He gives you guys something to talk about week after fucking week. I love it.
Skeptic, does this hurt Republicans?
So first I want to say, as a Christian and as a person who literally saw religious leaders speak positively and uphold this man as a candidate for the presidency, I think more religious leaders need to come out and need to oust the fact that this is not blasphemy, this is sacrilegious. And if you are a Christian, you know that the one sin that is unforgivable, the sin that the Bible says, like, you're basically condemned, is if you mock the Holy Ghost. So if you believe that the reincarnation of Christ is Jesus, and he is simulating the fact that he is Jesus, right? And putting his hand on top of someone else's forehead, which is a symbolic thing in the Christian religion, the Christian faith, going way back into Judaism, whenever they used to anoint people, they used to put the oil on their forehead. So a lot of symbolism as far as Christianity goes. And I am let down by Christian religious leaders and the fact that they're not coming out and speaking out against what he's currently doing. I think the people that are saying they disagree with this have more of a backbone and are kind of standing more on the fact that they actually believe, they actually have faith in the Bible. Because if you do, you wouldn't stand for this. Even when I'm not a Catholic, but if you were Catholic, when he posted himself as the Pope in the clothing as if he was the Pope, a lot of Catholics came out and said, yeah, I voted for him, but I disagree with what he's doing. Like, I would never be okay with somebody posting themselves as that. This should be the same thing as him doing that, but with Jesus, right? Jesus is is the Godhead, the embodiment of Christ for Christians. Yes, it's blasphemous for us to see a man whose wife, for all we know, was a mail order bride, who was essentially a hooker who was selling her an escort to rich men, try to say that he is equal to Jesus.
For sure. So I'm gonna play the interview with the Archbishop that Trump supposedly is mad about.
Is this a just war?
No. Under Catholic teaching, this is not a just war.
Catholic faith teaches us there are certain prerequisites for a just war. You can't go for a variety of different aims. You have to have a focused aim, which is to restore justice and restore peace. That's it.
Iran has been the chief exporter of terror. Is there no scenario in which preventing that can be a just war?
It's an abominable regime, and it should be removed. But this is a war of choice that we went to, and I think it's embedded in a wider moment in the United States that's worrying, which is this. We're seeing before us the possibility of war after war after war.
President Trump has argued that military action against Iran was justified in order to destroy its nuclear and ballistic missile programs, among other reasons.
So, Mia, is it fair for Trump to be mad at the Pope and the Catholic Church for being against the war in Iran?
I mean, he can be mad at whoever he wants to be, right? Like, we can all be mad at whoever we want to be. Like, that's not up for discussion. Like, anybody can be mad at anybody. What's up for discussion is it conducive to the commander-in-chief, the leader of the free world, to attack over 1 billion people believe Pope Leo is the anointed embodiment, the messenger of the Lord to Catholics. That's what they believe, that they hold that. So is it appropriate for our president to attack Pope Leo? Mind you, this is the first time they've ever elected an American pope from Chicago who has roots, who has Cajun, white, black, and Native American roots from down south because his family immigrated from Louisiana up. So, like, what? That's our homie. You know how pissed off those Europeans were that an American got picked? Okay, that's our homie over there. If anything, we should be bringing or trying to bridge the gap with world leaders like them. Because whether Trump likes it or not, more people listen and care about Pope Leo than they do him. Point blank, period. We've seen this with the election in Hungary as well. I mean, it's just disrespectful. It's just rude. And honestly, it's pathetic. Like, it's super pathetic. Every single pope comes out and denounces war, right? Nobody wants to see people meet their maker. That is their job, to denounce war, okay? It's just as simple. He could disagree privately, but he didn't have to post it and make a huge rant about it. And again, this is a midterm election. It's going to be a blue tsunami now because Catholics are overwhelmingly Democratic. Even though a lot of them split and did vote for him, they are still overwhelmingly registered as Democrats, and a lot of them are going to move back over to the left. So it is just misstep after misstep after misstep. Like, I mean, he must have dementia because this man, I don't know how he's surviving right now. Like, we're in a midterm cycle. And by all intents and purposes, the Democrats are going to have a clean sweep. They're going to clean sweep. There is no metric data that shows that Republicans are going to hold on to the majority. The Democrats are going to clean sweep. And to be honest, I don't even know if we're going to have an election because the way the Republicans are moving, the ones in Congress, the ones in Senate, and the ones in the big house are moving like they don't even think they're going to have an election. Like, they don't care. Like, midterms mean nothing to them. So we'll see.
So this is what Trump said when he was asked, why did you attack the Pope?
Going to go back, filled up with oil. Okay?
Why did you attack Pope Leo on Truth Social?
I don't think he's doing a very good job. He likes crime, I guess. He hit us. Think of it. He's worried about fear. What about the fear when the ministers and the priests and all of those great people that were arrested during COVID, and in many cases they're outside 10 feet apart and they were arrested. So we don't like it. We don't like a pope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon. We don't want a pope that says crime is okay in our cities. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo. He's a very liberal person, and he's a man that doesn't believe in stopping crime. He's a man that doesn't think that we should be toying with a country that wants a nuclear weapon so they can blow up the world. I'm not a fan of Pope Leo.
All right, Skeptic, he gave you his reasoning. Does that make you feel better about why he attacked Pope Leo?
It makes me feel like he is losing his mind. Like I don't even know if that's dementia. I don't know what that is. Because it doesn't make any sense. What do you mean? The fact that he broke the agreement with Iran has nothing to do with COVID. Like COVID was in 2000, what, 1920? Like, what are you talking about? What does that have to do with the Pope and with the Iran conflict? Like, what they're currently doing now with this standoff with the Strait of Hormuz is going to negatively impact our economy too. Like, I don't know. This is why we vote in people who know how to move in politics. Like, and I don't know if America has learned their lesson about a huge mistake was made. The thing that scares me is the fact that I still hear people agree with this man, even while everything is like falling apart. The CPI report that we saw is showing that inflation is not just showing up in like food, but in things like energy, natural gas, like all kind of things are going up in different aspects, not just food. And now with the Strait of Hormuz that he's doing this, he's going to close it, or he's going to also block Iranian shipments. Like, what do you think is going to happen? How is this making it any? What does it have to do with the Pope, number one, and the conflict? He's condemning the conflict because it was unnecessary. Like, how tie it together for me, because it makes zero sense.
For sure. So Trump was asked would he apologize.
Robert Barron supports you and your policies and praises you for defending religious freedom.
Yeah.
He now says you owe Pope Leo an apology. Will you apologize?
No, I don't, because Pope Leo said things that are wrong. He was very much against what I'm doing with regard to Iran, and you cannot have a nuclear Iran. Pope Leo would not be happy with the end result. You have hundreds of millions of people dead, and it's not going to happen. So I can't. I think he's very weak on crime and other things. So I'm not. I mean, he went public. I'm just responding to Pope Leo. And you know, his brother is a big MAGA person, and he's a great guy, Louis. And I said I like Louis better than I like the Pope. No, yeah.
So Slim, is MAGA based on loyalty? Like, why is it never that MAGA can apologize or admit any wrongdoing?
I don't know what MAGA is. I keep telling you that. I don't know, like y'all specified, I'm an American citizen who loves my president, Donald Trump. I don't know about that MAGA shit, bro. Like, so I don't like that label. So it's crazy how it's always been there. But at the end of the day, man, I've been listening to this shit for almost 10 years now. People bashing Donald Trump, bashing Donald Trump. At the end of the day, when you wake up, he is still your president. No matter how you slice the pie, you can feel some type of way. That's the blessing of the country. You can have your opinion, go to sleep, and still be in your safe environment. You don't have to worry about nobody coming and lock you up for your statements. Beautiful about that, right? But at the end of the day, we were supposed to be in chains. We were supposed to be slaves. All this fear-mongering shit, I don't deal with none of that. I don't deal with none of that emotional shit. I am an American. No matter what, it might be wrong. I might not have to agree with everything, but at the same time, I will never turn my back on my country, no matter who the fuck is in office, especially during times like this.
So I'm glad you brought up fear, because the Pope was asked, are you afraid of the Trump administration? Can you guys hear that?
Oh, really?
Let me play this out.
To get into a debate with him. I don't think that the message of the gospel is meant to be abused in the way that some people are doing. And I will continue to speak out loudly against war, looking to promote peace, promoting dialogue and multilateral relationships among the states.
That was just him talking about the post. But Mia, you said that the Pope is more popular, so I'm going to play the actual poll on it, then I'm going to have you respond to it.
The Pope, from a approval standpoint, who's better positioned right now in the United States among American Catholics?
You know, maybe President Trump is jealous of Pope Leo XIV because it is a blowout. It is a blowout, and this is just the American public at large, John. Look at this. It is a blowout in the net popularity rating. Pope Leo XIV at plus 34. Look at where Donald Trump is at minus 12. It's not even close. It's a nearly 50-point blowout amongst the American public at large. Pope Leo XIV absolutely crushing President Trump when it comes to how popular they are, at least as of the last month. And I will note that Pope Leo was the most popular person tested by NBC News. I believe the president is making a humongous mistake going after the most popular guy in America, at least well-known guy.
Question is, why is this man smiling here? How about among American Catholics?
Yeah, that's right. There's a reason why the Pope is smiling there. How about among American Catholics? President Trump is struggling with American Catholics. Look at this. Maybe this is part of the reason why he's going after the Pope. U.S. Catholics on Trump. You know, you go back to November of 2024. Look at this. President Trump crushed Kamala Harris by 20 points. But down he goes into the Dead Sea. Look at this, -4 points. That's a nearly 25-point switcheroo in the wrong direction. The president has been struggling with Catholics, and I must say, in my expert opinion, I'm not quite sure that going after the Pope is the way to recover with Catholics.
Hey, look,
So, Mia, you were talking about how the Catholics are mostly on the left, but a lot of Catholics are against abortion. So what do you think the ramifications are going to be for Trump going after Pope Leo and the popularity difference?
Well, I mean, obviously, Pope Leo is going to be popular. More popular than Donald Trump. I mean, that's not... I don't know anybody in their right mind who was like, Trump's more popular than the fucking Pope. Like, we're not this fucking stupid, right? We're not this fucking stupid. We all know the Pope's more popular. There's 1.4 billion Catholics in the world and 77 million Catholics in the United States. 77 million. So imagine pissing off what could be 50 to 60% of your voter base. There are more Catholic. I think there are over 25% of the United States identifies as Catholic. I think that's the most religious entity of everybody are Catholics. It's just ignorant and just stupid. I mean, it's just stupid. It really is stupid. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. I can't even. And, you know, most Catholics are registered Democrats. They are. I mean, they're old school. They're neocon Democrats. They're not like AOCs. They're like Biden Democrats. You know, there's a distinct difference of Democrat there. You have AOC, progressive, leftist, and then you have neocon Biden. There are Biden Democrats, which is Republicans in sheep's clothing. For lack of a better term, they're old school Democrats, which are Republicans in sheep's clothing.
For sure. So we'll get to the other thing that went viral over the weekend. Eric Swalwell has withdrawn from the governor to the run for governor of California.
Swalwell announced he would quit the California governor's race after sexual misconduct allegations that led to a nearly immediate campaign collapse. Long considered a top contender, he wrote on X that he's deeply sorry for mistakes and judgment he's made, while also strongly denying the allegations. Swalwell also faces the possibility of being expelled from Congress as the House convenes this week. A former prosecutor before elected to Congress in 2012, Swalwell briefly ran for president in 2019 and withdrew after failing to gain traction. He was also one of 9 House impeachment managers during the second impeachment trial of Donald Trump in 2021. The governor's race, drawing national attention, has been thrown further into flux. Other potentially viable Democrats in the race include billionaire activist Tom Steyer, former Representative Katie Porter, and former Health Secretary Javier Becerra. 2 Republicans are also in the running to advance out of the open primary in June.
So, Skeptic, in the media, it's a lot about, you know, the right with sexual allegations, crimes. What did you think about Eric Swalwell being caught up in this and him withdrawing from the race? And as well, Tony Gonzalez, who's a Republican, who had an affair, and the person he had an affair with ended up setting herself on fire. He also just resigned. They both just resigned from Congress. So what's your thoughts on someone on the left being caught up in something like this?
I think that it's disgusting. It's just as disgusting. And I think that he should lose his seat. Like, we need to get rid of this type of person. And like, here's the thing. I don't care what side you're on. Like, if you are, because I think the allegations were with like a younger girl, right? I want to say, yeah, he needs, if they can find proof for that, put him in jail. I am all for having him put in jail and being held to the extent of the law. Like, everyone should abide by the law. I don't care if you're the most progressive person. If that's what you're doing, then you need to go to jail and you need to lose all kind of political influence. I don't think I would want to listen to somebody if you don't have good judgment when it comes to that. How can I trust your judgment when it comes to uh creating laws and policy? Like, you are not fit for this job and you should recuse yourself, and if he doesn't, then we should remove him.
For sure. So I'm gonna play the clip that went viral. Viewer discretion is advised. So Slim, that's the girl. You're the other guy on this panel. They've been showing all these clips of Eric Swalwell with this girl. Do you feel like, just seeing that little clip, do you feel like he's guilty?
I mean, at the end of the day, there has to be proof to any allegation, right? So if it is the case, yeah, man, let the motherfucker fry. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck who it is. But it's just weird how, everything is coming out to this extent, like when it comes to, being essayed or, and I was thinking, I'm like, damn, what if the Pope was in those Epstein files? I wonder what people would say. Like, I wonder if they would still love him and things like that. Just hypotheticals, we're all talking hypotheticals.
I feel you on that.
Just saying, yeah.
But Mia, I'm gonna go to your clip about the fires everywhere, because you said this is like a big thing happening right now.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
So it's funny you mentioned the Pope and you mentioned the files. So not this Pope, but what Pope John Paul II technically is in the files. He was a roommate to one of the main contributors of the files, because it's a small world, I guess. Touche to that.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, Trump was compared to Jesus before, so I'm gonna play this first, because Paula White, who's actually like a pastor in Florida, in Orlando, I think, compared Trump to Jesus.
Of course she did.
But the truth of it is you are here because of God and because of you. And I just wanted to share this thought and then pray over President Trump. Jesus taught us so many lessons through his death, burial, and resurrection. He showed us great leadership, great transformation requires great sacrifice. And Mr. President, no one has paid the price like you have paid the price. It almost cost you your life. You were betrayed and arrested and falsely accused. It's a familiar pattern that our Lord and Savior showed us. But it didn't end there for him, and it didn't end there for you. God always had a plan. On the third day, he rose, he defeated evil, he conquered death, hell, and the grave. And because he rose, we all know that we can rise. And sir, because of his resurrection, you rose up. Because he was victorious, you were victorious. And I believe that the Lord said to tell you this. Because of his victory, you will be victorious in all you put your hand to.
I mean, why do y'all feel like Trump? I don't remember other people being compared to Jesus, like President Skeptic. Why do you feel like Trump and this Jesus comparison? Where's this obsession from?
Well, I think there was a study that came out that said that like Pentecostal and extremely conservative Christians overwhelmingly voted for him, and also people that went to church more often. So like churchgoers that were more faithful voted for him in like an outstanding number. Like I think it was like 80% voted for him. And I think that there is this, when you come to very rigid Christianity, there is this mentality of not questioning leadership. There's a reason why I kind of derived away from religion. I used to go to a very religious, like very strict religious. I actually grew up like that and got married in that religion. And like, but I questioned things. And so I used to always bump heads, but because I was the child of like a leader, I was given a certain right that other people weren't, right? And so you come to a point where you're like, if I can't question things and you're telling me to just blindly follow, I feel like that contradicts Christianity, the Bible. Not your religion, but the Bible. It contradicts that. That's what Jesus was doing that went against the Pharisees, the religious people. He was questioning them. These people believe that not questioning and just blindly following makes you Jesus. But it's actually the opposite of that. because he went into their religious temple and saw that they were selling things and threw their tables upside down and was like, you've committed, like you're out here just selling things. You're making a business out of this. And that's what they're doing. They're using Christianity as a business, and that's not what Christianity is about. And it's more blasphemous to me. And Paula White is herself is not a true religious leader. This is the problem I have with religion. She was selling prayers or slots in heaven for 10 grand. Like, you pay me 10 grand, I'm going to pray for you to have a slot in heaven. It's crazy. And if you read the Bible, you would know that that's not how it works. So it's like, it's the people that don't want to go. And it's the same thing with MAGA. If you don't want to learn and you don't want to educate yourself, even with religion, you're going to get played. You're going to fall for the okie doke.
What about the people that couldn't stand him so much that they wanted to crucify him? Like, that don't play a role?
There was the Christians. Those were the Pharisees, what we would call religious leaders. Who crucified Jesus? Was it the Romans or was it the Jewish people that crucified him?
I'm just saying, based on the comparisons. That's
His own group crucified him. It wasn't his enemies. It wasn't the Democrats
who hated him that wanted him crucified, correct?
The people that hated him were the people that were from his religion.
Okay, but they still hated him enough to want him crucified, correct?
Yeah, but your comparison doesn't apply, because then the people that follow MAGA or the MAGites would be the ones that would crucify Trump, not the Democrats.
All you just mentioned was the people who voted. I just added another part to that story because that's something similar to what Jesus went through.
The comparison is not the same, is what I'm saying. But this is what I'm clarifying. The Pharisees hated Jesus. It was the scribes. It was the people, not the scribes. It was the religious people that hated him because he came and contradicted the law. They said that he came and broke the law, but really he came to fulfill the law. He was just not fulfilling it to their liking. He was fulfilling it in a more in like a new age way. That's what he was doing. He was preaching love when they were preaching condemnation.
And they still crucified him, right?
It was his own religious people. Does that make sense?
I got you. But
okay, so it was not his enemies. It was not
realizing that he was the one. They crucified him without the knowledge of realizing that he was telling the truth. Everything that he was saying was real. Correct?
No,
yeah, it was. I don't think you're.
That. Jews don't believe that.
No, they don't believe that he was Jesus.
They don't believe the Messiah has been here yet. They believe there's the Holy War, and then that will usher in like the next coming, and it's going to be them against the world, and blah 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 blah.
What do you guys believe on this panel?
Well, I think they crucified Jesus because he destabilized the system, not on like a spiritualness, but literally he went in and flipped the tables and usurped the money system. And that pissed off the Jews because the Jews control the money and they always have controlled the money. Okay. So they gave him over to the Romans, and the Romans executed him, and everybody wanted him dead. The Romans wanted him dead because he was preaching a different religion, and the Jews wanted him dead because he was fucking up the money.
Okay.
But I mean, sometimes karma happens because those 30 gold pieces ended up in Judas committing suicide. So I mean, sometimes small favors do happen.
Move on, Greg.
So I'm gonna play Paulo. I'm gonna play Paulo because we talk about everything we should be talking about. So we talk about religion. I'm gonna play some of her clips that went viral.
Wherever I go, God rules. When I walk on White House grounds, God walks on White House grounds. I had every right and authority to declare the White House as holy ground because I was standing there, and where I stand is holy.
To say no to President Trump would be saying no to God. And I won't do that.
We are in a spiritual war right now. Let every demonic network that has aligned itself against the purpose, against the calling of President Trump, let it be broken, let it be torn down in the name of Jesus.
You want me to tell you what my thoughts are? The thoughts of the King of Kings, the thoughts of the Lord of Lords. I'm downloading heaven.
Weird white people stuff. My mother would agree. I'm going to text her right now and tell her she needs to watch the podcast, as weird people are doing weird things.
All right, Mia. So you don't go to church. You don't call yourself a Christian. When you see stuff like this, and when you see religion, specifically Christianity, where they're doing things that don't seem normal to the mainstream, what is your thoughts?
It's weird white people doing weird white people shit, and my mother would agree with me. I'm a phone a friend, and she would agree with me. It's weird people doing weird stuff. Like it's just weird people doing weird things, and literally but it also reconfirms I'm not religious. Not like that. I mean, if I'm praying to the old gods. I'm not praying to whatever God she's praying to. That's fucking weird. I don't want him talking to me. I don't want him following me like a demonic presence because he's stepping where I'm stepping. It's kind of weird to me. I'm good. I'm praying to the old gods. These people are weird. They're just doing weird shit.
She's a grifter. That Joker is a grifter. Like, she's out to make as much money as she can make. And believe it or not, she's successful at it. The people that follow her, the older people and her congregation, in order for you to listen to that and agree with it and say amen to that, like, you're already brainwashed. You're already too far gone.
So I'm going to play Trump's interaction with his DoorDash lady today.
McDonald's.
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you. I have your DoorDash order for you, Mr. President.
Oh, that's very nice. Look at this. This doesn't look staged, does it?
They're all your favorites.
That's good. These are good. DoorDash is doing a good job. So, the reason for this is the fact that I heard you picked up an extra $11,000 that you didn't get because the tax bill was so big. The refund was the biggest you've ever had. Is that a correct statement?
It definitely was. Yeah, I saved over $11,000 by not having to claim.
Was that surprising to you?
It was very surprising. Very
A
surprising.
great big beautiful bill. And that doesn't include overtime in your case. This is only just based on what we did in terms of every other aspect of the tax bill, right?
Yes, sir.
So it was $11,007.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that incredible? And that's what it is, the tax cut. It's really, we call it the Great Big Beautiful Bill. We should call it the Great Big Beautiful Tax Cut Bill because it's tremendous amounts of money. And that's overtime. That's also on Social Security, as you know.
Yes.
And it's pretty amazing.
Yes, it is.
And you're really nice. Would you like to do a little news conference with me with these people? These are not the nicest people. They're not nice like you. You know that, right?
I'll do whatever you ask me to do, sir.
So the no tax on tips is something special, right?
It's very special.
And that's the one that really pertains to you more than anything else.
Yes, sir.
It's fantastic. It's so such an honor to meet you. And I think you voted for me, did you?
Maybe.
Yeah.
How much did this cost the American people to pay for? How much did this cost the American taxpayer to pay
Not him
for?
asking, this
That's
doesn't look
literally
staged, does it?
That's what I want to know. I want someone to break it down into dollars, quantify that from dollars to minutes, and tell me how much that costs the American taxpayer. Because that was like 3 minutes of my life I am never going to get back.
Well, you're going to like this part because he asked this. This is what he asked.
They want to have men playing in women's sport. Do you think that men should play in women's sports?
I really don't have an opinion on that.
You don't? I'll bet
No,
you do.
No, I'm here about no
Pizza.
tax on tips.
Yeah.
Slim, I know you loved hearing that part.
Yeah, man, I do, man. I think Trump is the biggest troller, man. He just be trolling. And he just know how to stir up the pot. Like I said, I respect that, man. At the end of the day, I just know what he's doing. He ain't gonna let everybody know step by step what's really going on. So I love everything that's going on. Everybody's distracted with some bullshit. And because he's doing it, it's relevant. It creates the viral moments. It creates the fucking clicks. It's amazing how this one guy has that rent in your fucking head. It's amazing, yo. I love it.
You have the greatest amount of loyalty I have ever seen on an individual, and I appreciate that.
Oh, that it goes with whatever I get into, I go hard with it.
Because the conclusions you have jumped to are like jumping over a crevice like Mariana's Trench, and you were still loyal, and I absolutely appreciate that about you.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's get into the warehouse fires.
Fire number 3 right here in Ohio. I was tagged about this. This is an Amazon warehouse that also just caught on fire. So this is the third one after we just heard about New York and Queens, and then the other one in California where we saw the big video behind it, right? Now, this is breaking news. I don't know much about it. I was tagged in this. This happened, I think, perhaps today, along New York Queens fire that I was just reporting on earlier. And then somebody had told me about this, and I haven't been able to find any news about it online yet, but there's this special weather statement, moderate, for a fire spread in Pennsylvania right now. So that's 4. 5 right here where somebody said a jeans store was set in fire in California. Again, I can't corroborate these things right now. These are just comments. And somebody also said New Jersey for another warehouse fire. So that is literally California, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. I'm getting comments and reports in right now that there have been 5 different warehouse or storefront fires in the last 3 days. This shit is fucking wild. Holy 6. I think that's 6 because it's 2 in California, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. And again, I'm trying to find these items online right now, but like I don't think the news cycle has caught up fast enough to it. So like, whoo, class war 2026 shit.
All right, Mia, explain the fires to us. I'm gonna play the fire in the background.
So what's happening is there seems to be a series of fires breaking out all over the country. And I mean, I saw videos, Atlanta, New York, California, all of these places, and they all distinctly are warehouses that house hundreds of millions of dollars worth of goods, if not billions of dollars worth of damage are happening right now. Seems to be the beginnings of class warfare, if you will. I mean, and then Sam Altman got a Molotov cocktail thrown at him as well in his house. So it seems to be that the American people have finally hit that wall of they're not taking it anymore. They're tired, and they don't want to deal with the system anymore. And I have a feeling we're going to
if you're not going to live or afford
this happen. And we're also going to see a lot more companies giving bonuses. We're going to see a lot more companies moving to a potential 32-hour work week, but paying you for 40, because now the billionaire class have realized that people are done. Mind you, it wasn't the cannibalist babies from the Epstein files. It was just not being paid because now we're in a war and everything's more expensive and electricity went up and the air's poison and the water's gone from the data centers and everybody's getting cancer from those data centers. But yeah, I mean, all of that coupled now, we have finally reached the Americans' breaking point, which is wonderful to see. I hope it continues.
For sure. So, Skeptic, you always talking about the white man. So this woman went across overseas with her husband. It's a black lady. She got it. Well, her fiance, they got engaged. I just played the clip.
A 31-year-old influencer was found dead in a hotel room just days after her husband proposed to her. Ashley Janae was reportedly discovered unresponsive inside a hotel in Tanzania. Authorities say her husband, John McCann, has been detained and is under investigation. The couple had been on a luxury vacation that appeared perfect online, just days before he had proposed during her birthday celebration. Photos showed smiles, celebrations, and what looked like a happy moment. Then everything suddenly changed. Investigators are now examining whether the death may have been staged. Officials have not released full details, but the case is being treated as suspicious. What's raising more questions is what happened after. Social media posts continued, appearing normal. Meanwhile, Ashley had frequently shared their relationship online, but many noticed he rarely posted about her in return. That contrast is now drawing attention. Her family reportedly learned what happened through emergency contact notifications. The investigation is ongoing and more details are expected.
So, Skeptic, this story is going viral because of interracial relationship, and now the wife has gone missing. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I had heard about it. I think the crazy part was that he unalived her. Well, this is what they think. And then he like hung her and made it seem like she had committed suicide in that manner. Like, and here's the thing, like I just go with the numbers of things. I think it's just not talked about enough. And I also think I do not like when people try to force me to think a certain way. And the media will always paint a certain light when it comes to crime with a person of color, particularly black men, and they don't do the same thing when it's white men. And it's just like undeniable. Even looking at the numbers, a police officer is more likely to use excessive force. He's more likely to shoot you. He's more likely to search you if you are not a white male. And like if I am blind myself to that fact, if I believe what they tell me and the numbers are telling me otherwise, then I am putting myself in harm, or I'm going to teach someone something that's going to put them in harm, instead of you understanding this police officer potentially could make you a statistic. Like, you have to me, knowledge is powerful because it prepares you for the real world. And so like things like this, and if you really start looking into crime here in America and like who is doing what, will open your eyes to kind of just know how the real world is actually, like how it's actually playing out, instead of just going with what the media wants to do. And here's another thing that I'll say: social media is becoming the independent news source for young people, and this older generation of people that don't want to dabble into social media will not be able to control it. You will no longer be able to feed us information and have us digest it because you forcibly want to give us this to pay attention to. Young people are becoming their own media. Young people are spreading news just amongst each other. And you have 1,000 people listening to you in a couple of hours. You have now become media to those people. Like the control that they used to have over us is not the control that they have, like they had 20 years ago.
Well, you brought up a good thing, that because with technology, this Ring camera guy, this went viral of him, someone coming and knocking on his door and demanding to get his daughter.
Hello?
Hi there, can you open this door, please?
For what?
I just want to make sure that everything's okay. There seems to be something going on.
What do you mean?
I don't know, I just figured I'd check on something.
I don't know what you want, man. Get out of my house.
Open this fucking door! Where's your daughter, man? Where's your daughter, man?
What are you talking about?
Where's your daughter? Who's in there with you?
Bro, if you don't
open
leave...
this fucking door. Open this door, I'm breaking it fucking down. You understand me?
Leave my house. You don't...
Are you okay? Is everyone in this house okay?
What? Everyone's okay. What do you want? Can you leave my house, please?
Can you open the door, please?
You have nothing to do with my house. Can you leave my house?
You know what my name is?
I don't know who you are. You don't belong to this neighborhood. That's for sure.
This is my neighborhood, though.
Yeah, I live there. I don't know you.
My name is Harry Dresden, motherfucker. Open the door. This is my neighborhood. Open the fucking door.
Damn.
No, or I will fucking end you. Do you understand me?
Yeah, he's the man.
Stop it. This is real life.
I want to see how many times he kicked that door with them sandals on.
You better than me.
Dang.
Understand me! No! I will fucking kill you! Open this door!
Not the nose profile is crazy.
He got in the house?
Huh?
He didn't didn't shoot him. This must be California where you guys don't have guns.
Right.
Yeah, because Texas, he would have been gone in Texas.
I'm telling you, I'm giving you a chance right now, man. This is the third room. I'm giving you a fucking chance. Get the fuck out of my house. This is the third room, bro. I'm telling you, get the fuck out of my house.
No shovel. He don't carry a gun.
Get the fuck out of my house.
You don't have a gun in
There's no one in there. There's 3 rooms, man. I don't know who you are. You better get the street at 1797 Co-op Drive. I don't know who you're talking about, man. Why do I hear screaming? Are you military? Yes. Okay. Can you help me out? Okay. Yes. I understand what you're going through right now. Yes. Can you step outside? Yes, sir. Thank you. Will. Thank you for asking. There's something going on this street, bro. Bro, everything's fine. Please step outside. Okay. Well, sit there. Sit on the ground, please. Yes, sir. Okay.
I would have shot him. I'm sorry.
My neighbors would have shot him. If nobody else, my neighbors would have came out and been like, "What is going on here?" It's crazy.
I would have shot him. Hands down, I would have shot him. The second he started acting a fool, I would have got the shotgun. I would have put some shells in. I would have pumped. It's pump action. I would have shot him right through the fucking door, right in the chest. I'm a good shot. My mom didn't raise no fool. I'm a good shot. I would have shot him.
Slim, you would have shot him?
He's gone, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I would have shot, and I would wait for you to come in the door. We have castle laws where I live. I'd wait for you to come in the door. You want to break the door down, that's fine. You come in the door, I'm going to shoot you.
The minute he said his name, it would have been all I needed. At least we know his name. Dundada. He would have been left on that welcome mat.
Why didn't he call the police? Why it seemed like there was a long period of time. Yeah. You allowed him to break your bell. That's already like not breaking my stuff. Why did you call the police? Like, I would have been had the police on like speed dial.
Oh, he had on sandals.
He needs Jesus. He needs that Paula lady. That Paula lady needs to save him. He could be part of her flock. He seems just as deranged and unhinged. He needs to be part of her flock.
And he was looking for his daughter?
Yeah, that's what made it even scarier. That was crazy.
Oh no.
There has to be more context to that, man. It has to be.
That couldn't have been my daughter.
I'll try to find out more and follow up on it. So I'm gonna play the last clip, and I want to get everybody's opinion because it's probably some of y'all favorite artists. Is this appropriate? Before y'all respond, play one more angle so y'all can see. This is Lotto 21 Savage, baby mama. We talked about this before. Mia, you like Lotto?
Not particularly.
So
not particularly. Like, she seems all right. I mean, I don't know her.
So Mariah the Scientist brought her out of the show. Do you feel like it was appropriate for her to be performing pregnant?
Birds of a feather flock together. I mean, she is flocking for the birds. For some reason, the Tweety birds are never in the sky. They're always on the ground. I don't know. She is doing what bird brain bitches do. And to be honest, I looked at that and I thought, man, that sucks. She's like 5'2". She gained 250 pounds. That's going to be a motherfucker to lose. Once that 6-pound baby comes out and you have those 80 pounds to lose. That was my first thought. I didn't even look at the twerk and I was like, damn, that fucking sucks. It's going to suck for her to try to lose all that weight. Because you think 21's going to stay with a fat bitch?
Oh, man.
You think 21 is going to stay with a fat bitch? Imagine trying to have to lose like 80 pounds in like 3 weeks. Come on. It's all honeymoon until the baby's there and the baby's crying and you're fat and you're angry and you're tired and you're taking care of a kid. I say their relationship has less than a year left. Babies really do change the dynamics of relationships. You guys all have kids. You understand. Kids change the dynamics of relationships. So, I mean, we're going to see her single mom, single released in like 9 months.
Skeptic, are you a Lotto fan?
I like a couple of Lotto's songs. I didn't really started listening to her until like recently. Like the little like Brokey went viral and stuff, but I'm not like a fan where I know stuff about her or anything. But I will say this. Everyone has a different standard when they're pregnant. I was like the most paranoid. Like I even made a big deal because I took the wrong vitamins. I didn't take a prenatal. I took a regular vitamin and I freaked out because it had excessive vitamin A, which can cause like birth defects. So like I was extremely skeptical of everything. And that really is who I am. Very skeptical person. I didn't even want, like, if I ate something that was kind of raw, I would freak out. So I guess every woman is different. Every woman holds herself to a different standard. If you think being at club type of environment is good for you and your baby and twerking is going to be helpful for your labor, I mean, go for it. But I feel like everything that you do is going to affect your health later on when you're in labor. And like I was lucky I had a good labor. I had it all natural. So like it's different when you have kids because it's not all about you anymore. Like now it's you, your body, and a baby that's inside of you. I mean, do you, but you know, it might come with consequences. Like now you see Krishan Rock, who had all this backlash afterwards, but she was having a hell of a time when she was pregnant. She was out there partying it up. And then afterwards, all the consequences came home to roost. And it was like, you know, now you got all these consequences. You could have done better when you had the opportunity. That's just my opinion. When I look at stuff like that, I'm like, ooh, okay.
I dated a pregnant girl back in the day. I met her in the club too. And like she was expecting me to come to the labor and everything. I was like, hey girl, like I met you when I was pregnant, but that was a long time ago. That was in my early 20s. But Slim, are you a Lotto fan?
Nah, hell no.
She got bars though. People think she got a ghostwriter. She has bars though, so you're not a Lotto fan?
Trash.
So was that appropriate?
Hell no, it ain't appropriate. Man. Yo, hold up, man. How popular is this chick? She's very popular, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Millions and millions of followers. You think like young girls listen to her like 10, 12?
Of course.
What's the message that those young girls might be receiving? Like they might want to get a bump. They might want to be like, I need me a baby daddy because Lotto got a baby daddy.
I think they thinking don't take maternity leave.
Hey, all I'm saying is this is where we are. Not everybody worried about the war.
Hey, that's true. That's a true statement. If you watching right now, hit that subscribe button and press that notification bell. Know we go live. Mia, what's your final thoughts?
I'm going to keep it short and sweet. There are too many pigeons on the ground, and the birds need to go back to the sky. There are just too many bird brain bitches on the ground, and they need to go back into the sky.
Okay. Skeptic, what's your final thoughts?
I do think that things are going to get a little bit more rough if they're not already rough for you. I know a lot of people that have had a hard time. Tariffs have like bankrupted their businesses and stuff. And I've been telling people, prepare, buy you a couple of extra packs of water, buy you some seeds, start trying to plant or have a garden. Even if you're in an apartment, try and I know that there's like these like little gardens that you can have in like a balcony and stuff. So I do think we should prepare for things to get way more difficult for Americans.
Slim, what's your final thoughts?
Yo, good show. Another one in the bucket. Yo, don't be scared, man. At the end of the day, we gotta live. We gotta wake up in the morning. We gotta still get money. We still gotta take care of our kids. So don't be out here being nervous. Get prepared. Man Cave.
For sure. We do this every Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for watching. Thank you to the cast. Keep coming and watch everything that we have. For me, I'll say that us talking about religion and politics, we're seeing it more synonymous with each other. So we'll try to keep you guys updated on this, because what we talked about was the end of time. So some of the stuff that Trump is doing, mainly the rest of the world turning against Israel, is in the revelations in the Bible. So we'll try to keep you guys updated on any information and any analogies that come with religion and politics. Thank you for watching. Have a great night. Man Cave.
Hello, history buffs. Ready for a journey back? Look at this encampment. The spirit of 76 is alive.
Freedom of our future. A true patriot savors these moments, but the fight for liberty calls. To the encampment for freedom of our future.
For liberty. This is what American patriotism is all about. Look at these flags. They represent our fight for liberty.
The hour our liberty is at hand. For freedom is robbed by. Secure our liberty. My fellow patriots, the hour of decision is upon us. Let us march forth with courage to secure our liberty.
Welcome to my colonial home. Today, Del Payne's work captures the spirit of we fight for independence. And our freedom. Greetings from the encampment. The spirit of liberty is strong. We will fight for our rights and our freedom.
Hour is late. We must enact. To the encampment for liberty. Through every change and challenge. We stand at the dawn of liberty, unshaken by the trials ahead. Soldiers, the enemy is near. Front line, fire me!